Have you ever caught your reflection in the mirror and felt like something was subtly stealing years from your appearance? For many older men, it's not just the fine lines etching across their foreheads or the silver strands weaving through their hair. Often, it's a haircut, one that's been unchanged for decades, quietly dragging down their entire look. After the age of 60, every detail in how you present yourself matters more than ever. It's not just about vanity, it's about how you feel when you step out into the world, how others respond to you, and how those interactions shape your sense of self. A dated haircut can do more than make you look a little tired. It can emphasize the signs of aging in ways you might not even notice, drawing attention to thinning patches, weighing down your facial features, or clashing with the natural texture of your hair. The wrong style can sap your energy, making you feel less vibrant, less present, less like the man you know you still are. But the good news is that the right haircut can change all of that. It can restore confidence, bring back a spark of youth, and make you feel like you're standing a little taller. Today, we're going to explore 6 specific haircuts that older men across the United States, from small towns to bustling cities, have said make them look and feel decades younger. These aren't flashy, trendy styles you'd see on a Hollywood red carpet or a magazine cover. These are practical, time-tested cuts chosen by men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, grounded in insights from barbers, psychologists, and researchers who understand what makes people appear more youthful, more alive. If you've ever looked in the mirror and felt something was off, but couldn't quite pinpoint it, this is for you. The right haircut might just be the simplest way to reclaim your dignity, your presence, and that undeniable spark people notice the moment you walk into a room. Let's dive in. Picture a man in his mid-70s, standing in front of his bathroom mirror, running a hand through his hair. For years, he's worn it the same way, long, a little shaggy, maybe combed straight back or parted haphazardly. It's familiar, comfortable, but lately he's noticed it doesn't feel right. It makes his face look heavier, his eyes less bright. What he might not realize is that his haircut is working against him, emphasizing the natural changes that come with age. Hair thins, loses volume, or grows wiry, and a style that worked in your 40s can suddenly betray you in your 60s. But there's one haircut that countless men have turned to, one that barbers across the country recommend for its ability to instantly refresh and rejuvenate: the tapered classic cut. This style is like a tailored suit for your head. It's clean, structured, yet soft enough to feel natural. The sides are neatly trimmed, not buzzed down to the scalp, but carefully tapered, gradually blending into slightly longer hair on top. This gradual transition creates an illusion of lift, pulling the eye upward and giving the face a subtle elongation that counters the sagging that often comes with age. The top is left with just enough volume to add height, but it's not stiff or overdone. It's a balance, a harmony between polish and ease. For men with graying hair or thinning spots, this cut is a game changer. It draws attention away from sparse areas, focusing instead on the strong lines of the jaw and the symmetry of the face. Barbers love it because it's versatile, working for men with straight hair, wavy hair, or even a slight curl. It's especially effective for those whose hair has started to recede at the temples or thin at the crown, as the taper shifts focus to the edges of the face, creating a stronger, more defined outline. Take Harold, a 74-year-old retired postal worker from a small town in Minnesota. For years, he let his hair grow long and unkempt, thinking it was low maintenance, but it made him look older, tired, like he'd given up. One day, at his granddaughter's urging, he visited a local barber and asked for something new. The barber suggested a tapered classic cut, trimming the sides short but leaving enough length to blend smoothly into the top, where he added a bit of height. When Harold looked in the mirror, he barely recognized himself. His face looked sharper, his eyes brighter. Later that week, his granddaughter grinned and said, "Grandpa, you look like you just got out of the army." That comment, paired with her warm smile, made the change worth it. Harold didn't suddenly look like a 20-year-old, and that wasn't the goal. The beauty of this haircut is that it doesn't try to erase your age. It refines what's already there, letting your natural presence shine through. It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about looking like the best version of yourself. Psychologically, this style does something powerful. It conveys clarity, dependability, and vitality, qualities that people, especially younger generations, associate with health and confidence. When you walk into a room with a tapered classic cut, you're not shouting for attention. You're quietly saying, "I've still got it." And that understated strength is far more compelling than any flashy trend. But the tapered classic cut isn't the only option. Another style that's been transforming how older men see themselves is the textured crop. At first glance, it might not sound like much, just a short haircut with some layers. But when done right, it's a revelation. The textured crop works by adding short, uneven layers on top, creating movement, volume, and a natural lift that breathes life into hair that started to flatten or recede. The sides are kept short, often tapered, but the top is where the magic happens. Those choppy, slightly tousled layers give the hair a relaxed, effortless vibe, like you just ran your fingers through it and walked out the door. It's low maintenance, which is a blessing for men who don't want to spend hours with gels and combs. But it still looks modern, fresh, and surprisingly youthful. The imperfection is the point. Unlike a slick, combed-over style that can look rigid and dated, the textured crop feels alive, dynamic. It's designed to look a little messy, but in a controlled, intentional way. That slight disarray taps into something deeper, something psychological. When people see texture in your hair, their brains pick up on motion, resilience, and energy, traits we subconsciously link to youth. It's like a spark flickering at the crown of your head, disrupting the flat, lifeless look that so many older men fall into without realizing it. Consider Dennis, a 68-year-old from a quiet suburb in Colorado. Dennis had worn his hair long and straight for decades, thinking it suited him. But as his hair thinned, the style started to drag his face down, making him look weary, even when he felt fine. He'd started to feel invisible, blending into the background at the grocery store, the coffee shop, or family gatherings. On a whim, he asked his barber for something different. The barber suggested a textured crop, clipping the sides short and adding choppy layers on top. The result was transformative. Dennis didn't just look younger, he felt more interesting, more present. He told his barber, "I didn't know I could still look like this." That's the heart of it. This haircut doesn't turn you into someone new. It reminds you that the man who once turned heads is still there, waiting to be seen again. The textured crop also offers a bit of personality. You can style it forward for a bold look, sweep it slightly to the side for something softer, or even spike it up a bit on days when you're feeling adventurous. It's flexible, forgiving, and doesn't demand a cabinet full of products. The best part? People notice the change, but they can't always pinpoint why. They'll say you look refreshed or sharp, and that subtle mystery is how you know it's working. For men who want a touch of classic elegance, there's the side-parted pompadour. This style might sound like something your grandfather wore, but hear me out. It's a throwback with a modern twist, and it's incredibly effective for older men. The side-parted pompadour takes a timeless silhouette and infuses it with volume, polish, and structure, creating a look that lifts the entire face. The hair is combed to one side with a clean part, while the top is styled with a bit of height, giving it that signature pompadour lift. It's not as dramatic as the rockabilly styles of the 50s, but it's architectural in its own way, supporting your appearance like a well-tailored jacket. The volume on top pulls the forehead upward, defining the cheekbones and creating an illusion of sharpness, even if your face feels tired. This is crucial after 60, when facial features naturally start to soften. Jawlines blur, eyes droop, and skin loses its tautness. The side-parted pompadour pushes back against that gravitational pull, not with creams or surgeries, but with the simple power of a good haircut. It tells the world you're still standing tall, still sharp, still here. The side part itself carries a psychological weight. It signals intention, order, and self-respect. Much like a pressed shirt or a polished pair of shoes, those clean lines on your head mirror the lines of a crisp collar, sending visual cues that make people see you as confident, elegant, and at least a decade younger. But beyond the aesthetics, there's something deeply personal about choosing a structured style when your hair is graying or thinning. It's a declaration you still have something to say. William, a 72-year-old from a small town in Illinois, learned this firsthand. For years, he kept his hair buzzed short, thinking it was practical. No fuss, no muss. But it made him blend in, especially at the senior center, where he felt like just another face in the crowd. His granddaughter, with a bluntness only kids can muster, told him he looked like everyone else in the nursing home. Stung but curious, William let his hair grow out a bit and asked his barber for a side-parted pompadour. The change was immediate. At the pharmacy, the librarian smiled at him. At church, people struck up conversations. William hadn't changed his clothes or his routine, but he was treated differently because he treated himself differently. A haircut like this communicates value and presence without saying a word. It's not about vanity, it's about dignity, about showing the world you still care. Some styles never go out of fashion, and the classic taper with a natural finish is one of them. This haircut is the epitome of understated refinement, working with your age rather than against it. The sides and back are kept short, gradually fading into longer hair on top, but there are no sharp edges or aggressive lines. The result is a look of controlled ease, like a man who knows exactly what he's doing but doesn't need to broadcast it. This balance is key after 60, when society often assumes men become careless or fade into the background. A haircut that's intentionally styled, not too stiff, not too trendy, just present, changes that perception. It makes you seem sharper, more engaged, more relevant. It's a trick of the eye, yes, but also of the mind. People reassess your age, your energy, even your place in the world when they see you with a cut like this. James, a 76-year-old former engineer from Pennsylvania, experienced this shift. He'd let his hair grow shaggy, thinking it was easier to manage, but it made him look disheveled, older than his years. Last year, he decided to try something new and asked his barber for a classic taper. The barber trimmed the sides short, blended them into the top, and finished with a natural, soft texture. James didn't expect much, but the change was undeniable. At his local coffee shop, baristas started making eye contact. His daughter told him he looked like he'd come back to life. Friends at the senior center asked where he got his hair cut, curious about his newfound vitality. The classic taper didn't make James 20 again, but it made him visible. And when you feel seen, something shifts. You sit straighter, speak with more certainty, step back into the world instead of retreating from it. That's the power of a haircut that works with you, not against you. Another style that brings a youthful energy is the side part with volume on top. There's something inherently vibrant about a man who wears his hair with a soft side part and a touch of height. It's not loud or showy. It simply lifts the face, opens the features, and brings a spark back to the eyes. After 60, 70, or even 80, that slight elevation on top can make a world of difference. Volume suggests vitality, and paired with a gentle part, it adds structure without feeling stiff. As hair thins or flattens with age, it can drag the face downward, making you look tired or withdrawn. Adding lightness on top counteracts that pull, visually lifting the brow and balancing out any heaviness around the jawline. It's a timeless style, versatile enough for a casual day at the market or a formal event like a wedding. Ronald, a 68-year-old retired firefighter from Michigan, used to comb his hair straight down, thinking it was practical. But it dulled his strong features, making him look heavier, older. When he switched to a side part with a bit of lift, the change was striking. His neighbors thought he'd started hitting the gym. His niece teased him, asking if he had a new girlfriend. Those small comments, those double takes, showed how powerful visual cues can be. They make people see you differently, and more importantly, they make you see yourself differently. Styling your hair with intention, even something as simple as a part, sends a message to your brain: you still matter. That's not vanity. That's presence, resilience, grace with a bit of edge. Finally, there's the textured short crop, a style that delivers every time for older men looking to shed years without losing their dignity. This cut is clean, unflashy, and incredibly effective. It frames the face neatly, adds density where hair is thinning, and gives off an air of effortless polish. The sides are slightly tapered, and the top is layered with a bit of texture, creating a sense of motion that communicates energy and alertness. As hair loses fullness with age, it can become lifeless, but the textured short crop reintroduces dimension, giving the illusion of thickness, even when strands are fine. It draws attention to the eyes, not the wrinkles, and balances the face in a way that feels natural. Robert, a 74-year-old retired math teacher from Pennsylvania, had worn the same flat top since the Reagan era. His grandchildren said he looked like a character from old game show reruns. Reluctantly, He let his barber trim the sides and add texture to the top with a dab of styling paste. The result was astonishing. His daughter asked if he'd gotten new glasses, but he hadn't. His face just looked lifted, more open, more modern. That's the quiet power of this cut. It doesn't pretend to turn back the clock. It simply says you're still evolving, still awake, still in the game. When you step back and think about it, hair is never just hair. It's a reflection of how you see yourself and how the world sees you. After 60, every choice matters more. The clothes you wear, the way you carry yourself, the haircut you choose. These small decisions shape how you move through the world, how you're treated, how you feel when you catch your reflection. Choosing the right haircut isn't about chasing youth or denying your age. It's about honoring who you are today, with all the wisdom, experience, and fire you've earned over the years. It's about aligning your outer appearance with the energy still burning inside. Whether you opt for a sharp tapered classic, a lively textured crop, a polished side-parted pompadour, a refined classic taper, a vibrant side part with volume, or a neat textured short crop, the goal is the same: to feel more like yourself, more vibrant, more ready to meet the next chapter of your life with confidence. Sometimes, all it takes is one good haircut to remind you that the best parts of your story are still waiting to be written. So the next time you sit in the barber's chair, don't settle for the same old style. Take a chance. Ask for something that lifts your face, brightens your eyes, and brings back that spark. You've earned it, and the world deserves to see it.